So pleased to be joined by the final of this year's candidates for Athletic Union President, Dylan Clunie. Thank you for joining me, Dylan.
Thank you for having me.
Not a problem at all, an absolute pleasure. So first of all, tell me what it's been like to be on the virtual campaign trail this year.
It's been different. Obviously, like we've not been able to do in-person campaigning at all really this year. So it has just been like via social media and via like kind of getting word out, like all online, which has been tricky. Like I think people are like beginning to get sick of being online, so like it's been hard trying to get the kind of reach to people. But aside from that, no, it's been good. It's been good.
As you mentioned, the importance of social media and in particular Facebook has been so huge this year, more than any other year, certainly in my time at St Andrews. But I have noticed that you've not really been interacting much on your campaign Facebook page. So I'm just wondering how seriously you're actually taking this, because as you said, the whole point of using social media is because you can't get to people in person. So the one platform that you have, you're not actually using.
I feel like I have been using it as like I don't think I've got as big a campaign team as some of the other candidates, which I think has been kind of part of why I don't have like as many videos or like kind of as many posts going out like every kind of couple hours or anything. But like I feel like that's just kind of how I'm running it. Like I didn't want to completely bombard people with like post after post after post. But I feel like I have still been using it. It's just
I'm so just not as you're concerned, less is more. Is that effectively what the aim is?
Yeah, I feel like in some ways, and also just like I myself am not particularly brilliant at social media, so like I'm not super active on like Facebook or anything like that beforehand. So it is just kind of the way that I'm working it.
Okay, and that obviously feeds into the manifesto itself then. You stated on your manifesto that you spoke to students from other sport clubs along with friends that didn't play sport and Saint sports staff to gather a range of opinions and viewpoints. Yeah. It does strike me that a group that you may have sought to also seek the opinion of would be the St Andrews design team, because it's one of the most bland manifestos that I've seen throughout this campaign. Was that a conscious decision on your part?
It was a decision that I made, mostly because I'm currently a 5th year student, like studying chemistry, doing a dissertation, and I didn't have like quite as much time to make everything as frilly and fancy as some of the others. But also I feel like sometimes like a plain text manifesto is more like it's more readable for people, like because it's not kind of all colours and like different boxes and stuff. It honestly was mostly just not wanting to spend loads of time making everything look really pretty when I honestly had like the content's more important to me.
Okay, well, let's talk about the content of the manifesto. I'm sure you're more keen to get into that. You've spoken about intramural sports. There we go. Something that obviously I've not really been familiar with in St Andrews, and the reason you've given is because it's not really been a thing at St Andrews. So why do you think that is?
I'm not really sure. Like I know for the past year they have been doing like sport on Saturdays, which has been good. There's been like quite a good uptake with that. But I still feel like we can be doing more. Like I know we used to do hall sports. I'm not sure when exactly that stopped, but it's obviously not been able to be a thing this year. But I feel like kind of when I was in 1st year, it was always a good kind of a good way to meet people. It's a good way to like get talking to like people that you might not have otherwise met, even just to like go and have some fun, be active when you're not really that involved with sport otherwise. But yeah, I feel like getting that back up and running and trying to get like more students who maybe don't want to be part of like a full sports club or don't want to like kind of have the commitment to that, having something that they can go and do that's not just kind of going to the gym by themselves or going for a run, something that they can meet other people and do sport, but not having the same sort of commitment level as having to join a club. I feel like that's an important thing that we can, that like it's a way of getting people that might not otherwise be playing sport into sport.
Okay, and obviously part of that will be trying to encourage people to either get back into sport post-COVID or at least start taking up sport. And in your manifesto's introduction, you stated that your main goal is to get as much sport as possible running as quickly and as safely as feasible. But there's no actual further mention of the quickly or the safely throughout the rest of the manifesto. And seeing as that's your main goal, in your words, why have you not felt the need to state how you're going to manage to do that in your manifesto?
I feel like kind of it's a very broad, because obviously a lot of it's dependent on stuff that I cannot personally control. It's dependent on like how the government takes, like, well, it's dependent on COVID for the most thing, and it's dependent on like the government's reaction to COVID and like release from lockdowns and when we're allowed to go back to sport. Because obviously come September, I would love to be able to say every single sport doing all their training sessions, we're going to have this and this and this, we're going to have all these events, we're going to have intramural sport going from the day one. But I can't guarantee that that would be something. Like, it does very much depend on factors that are completely out with my control. But what I can control is trying to help as many clubs as possible get up and running again, especially ones that may have been like hit by COVID this year, like this past year. Because I know like some clubs haven't been able to train at all this past year. Some have had very, very minimal training. So that is, yeah, like that is my like main thing, is like trying to get everything back up and running. But it is hard to put like definite stamps on everything because so much of it is out with my control. Obviously, like I would love to be able to say like, but it is dependent on stuff that, yeah.
It strikes me that even by your own admission, your main goal is something that's out of your control.
Well, I feel like given the year that everybody's had, I feel like having not having the goal to try and get people back into sport and try and get sport back up and running, I feel like not having that as one of your main goals would be kind of an oversight. So I feel like it is the most important thing to me right now, is to try and get sport up and running. So like stating that as my main goal, I feel it is kind of my opinion on that. Like the thing that I really want to get out of the next year, should I be elected, is getting like everything back, like everything is back to like as normal as possible. And it is something that is like partially out with my control, but given the fact that we have been able to have sport going this past year, we have been able to have like kind of games and matches and like training sessions and stuff going for like most sports to some level. I don't feel like it's completely unreasonable to make that my main goal.
Okay, and final point on the campaign. Why do you think that people should vote for you over Jess or Sam?
I feel like, well, I have obviously got like a lot of experience with sport, like having played sports since I was a kid, like not even just football. Like I used to do swimming, I used to do tennis, I used to do like gymnastics for a brief while. I wasn't particularly good at gymnastics, I'm a bit clumsy. But and throughout that all, I've been captain of like my team for like football. I have been through like a leadership, like the Saints Leaders program. I also have already spent a lot of like, I've also spent the last year sitting on like the Athletic Union Exec Committee, which has given me a lot of experience as to like how the AU works and what things are reasonable, like what goals are achievable. And it also comes with a lot of training. Like we get like workshops from SEED, we get things like that to help us develop more as leaders and as like as people as well. And like Saint Sport is something that has definitely been here for me the past 5 years. It has been a massive part of my uni life, and I just really want to be able to like help make it better. Like, not saying that it's bad just now, it is amazing what it does right now. But I really want to be able to help bring it forward and help it grow and develop and like kind of help it reach more people.
Okay, great. Well, as you've just said, you're currently in your 5th year at St. Andrews. Why on earth are you going for a 6th year? You're not sick of this town yet?
I really like it. I'm from just kind of down the road a little bit, like about an hour down the road. And it's kind of a bigger town. It's like busier, and there's actually less to do somehow back home than there is here. But as soon as I kind of came here for an opening day, like an open day, and as soon as I stepped out the car, my dad turned to me and was like, "You're going to end up going here, aren't you?" And I just kind of looked at him like, "Yeah, probably." But I just really like it here. I've been here like 5 years. I've met some of the best friends, like some of my best friends here. I've had like some amazing experiences, and I'm somehow just not sick of it yet.
Well, you certainly can't fault your enthusiasm. So tell me more about you, Dylan. Obviously, we know that you're really, really into sport, but there must be other facets about your personality that our viewers would love to know about.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, I'm a chemistry student, so I do enjoy chemistry. I do enjoy science. But in terms of like hobbies and stuff that I've always really liked baking. I used to bake with my gran when I was younger, and like to be honest, when I go and see her now, I still sometimes do. Obviously, haven't seen her for a while because of COVID, but like we'd always do baking together. I'm not the best baker, but somehow things tend to work out. And I also have a dog that I like. Unfortunately, she's at home right now, so I haven't seen her for a bit. But I do love walking her. Like we go up the hills quite often. We go for like we do Monroe bagging as well, which is mostly for the views, to be honest. Never like the hill climbing, but like the views that you get at the top, pretty good. Can't beat them.
I've also seen that you're a soon to be qualified referee. Are you just sick of having friends or something?
Yeah, I thought I've got too many friends from the football club, so I need to find a way to alienate them and make them just like dislike me. No, it mostly just a way for me to like learn more about the game. Like obviously I've been playing since I was a kid, but it's a different perspective on it. And it also means that when I'm arguing with my friends about like if we're watching a football game, I know that I'm probably going to be the right one.
So your views on VAR must be quite different to most people's then.
Oh, VR is like something that thankfully we've barely touched on it, because obviously we're going to start like kind of with kids football for the most part, but I don't even want to touch that with a barge ball.
So we are going to finish off, Dylan, with some quick fire questions. So first up, football or futsal?
Honestly, futsal.
Okay.
Football, like futsal's like wormed its way into my heart.
Okay, so what about your favourite football team?
I support the team from where I'm from, so Livingston.
Okay, and your biggest sporting idol?
I honestly don't think I've got one. Like I admire quite a lot of people, but like I don't have like the one that I kind of hold to the highest regard.
Okay, no problem with that. So we go on to the next one. Playing, coaching, or refereeing?
Playing. Like even though I spent a lot of the last few years injured, playing. There's
No hesitation on that one.
Yeah.
If you could get rid of one thing about St. Andrews, and that can be the town or the university, what would it be?
The unaffordable housing, which is a very topical one. But yeah, I spent like 3 years living in a house. I'm currently back in halls, but yeah, the housing and landlord situation.
Yeah, I think a lot of people sympathise with that one. Cats or dogs?
I love cats, but I do have a dog, so I've got to go dogs.
If you could only spend the rest of your life with one person, who would it be?
Ooh. Probably my best friend, although we'd probably both go just absolutely nuts. But it would be fun while it lasted.
So here for a good time, not a long time, maybe, in that case.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm able to talk to her like really easily, but like we would probably drive each other just like not even like mad, but just like we'd just go down like wormholes until we were completely incomprehensible to anybody other than us.
What's your go-to drink at the Union?
Diet Coke. I don't really drink. I'm really boring.
Perfect answer there. Sam Winton or Jess Smith?
Oh, I really don't want to answer that. Like I know them both outside of kind of like running against them. So like they're both friends of mine. So I don't want to answer that.
I suppose I can't really force you, can I? Final question then, Dylan. Sum up what life within the AU would be like under your presidency in 3 words.
Sport is back.
Perfect answer. Dylan Clunie, best of luck with the campaign. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.